आपादमौलिपर्यन्तां गुरुणामाकृतिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नः प्रणश्यन्ति सिद्धन्ति च मनोरथः लक्ष्मीं तनोतु नितराम् इतरानपेक्षमङ्घ्रिद्वयं निम्मशाखिशिखा प्रवालम् हैरम्बमम्बुरुहडम्बरचौर्यनिग्रं विघ्नाद्रिभेदशतधारधुरन्धरन्नः सर्वेषां स्वागतम्. So we were discussing ego and we spoke about what it primarily is, what its components are and all that. Now we go towards ham bhava here, what it develops into, what ego gives rise to. So here we talked about, we already mentioned healthy ego and unhealthy ego. What is healthy ego? It is a balanced and an adaptive sense of self. That means if I am wrong, also I'm going to accept that, I'm going to make it a part of my personality to adopt to it, and then I'm going to move forward. Unhealthy ego is an excessive, inflated sense of self, and that is leading to something called as narcissism, but we don't want to go to narcissism now. So here, there is something called as constructive criticism. When do we accept constructive criticism? Somebody criticizes, finding if there is a scope of improvement in their criticism is up to us. Constructive criticism is basically when we give a criticism in such a way that it helps the other person out, the person who we are criticizing. But here, from the other end as well, that is the person who is receiving that criticism, he must be in that state of mind to collect that tip or improvement, sense of improvement, and then he should inculcate it. So a person who is able to do that, he is giving rise to something called as the healthy ego. There it is allowing him to grow. Unhealthy ego, however, doesn't. So we need to ensure that for well-being, ego inflation and ego deflation are maintained. That is, ego inflation when there is over emphasis on the ego, on self, on whatever I think and whatever my desire is, my own needs. When there is more emphasis on that part, then it leads to ego inflation. Ego deflation is when a balanced ego can actually enhance well-being by allowing individuals to develop a sense of purpose. So well-being can also be uh, promoted through ego if there is ego deflation, and that is a result of healthy ego. So what we were talking about as aham bhava here, slightly it falls on unhealthy ego. So that is what we are trying to give up. But there is a positivity. In positive psychology we were talking about. So in positive psychology, it is possible to bring about mindfulness and a sense of gratitude if we allow ego to grow in a healthy manner. And that is the reason why ego development, um, uh, it has to be balanced. It has to always dwell with positive relationship, and it has to inculcate a sense of gratitude before it moves on to higher planes. So having that actually helps us to understand, use ego for our betterment, that is positive growth. So this is how we should understand ego. So that is the concept of ego. It is very close, since we are almost at the end of Sri Rama Gita. Ego, this is a very important topic in psychology as well. So this is positive psychology, influence of positive psychology we can see in Sri Rama Gita also. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि।